Welcome to the SID's View podcast. Okay?
Lord.
That's how you wanted it. That's how you get it.
I like that we've established that no one else can do it.
Correct.
Well, some of us still haven't tried, Jack.
I like it.
Hey, that's what she said.
Oh, my Lord.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to be chippy tonight.
Oh, you're all over those, huh?
Yeah. I'll be ready.
Nice.
Hello, everybody on the chat. It's exciting.
You can suck it.
Well, you can see people are already on there.
Oh, yeah.
There's like 60 people already.
Really?
Yeah, chatting it up.
You're bringing the chatty Cathys out here, Kopcik.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, they're going to be chatty.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. This is going to be good.
Don't call me Guy.
What's up, gay?
It's next gig.
What up, gay?
Yeah.
What?
All right.
Yeah, I like your delivery of it. You're kind of on it.
What up, gay?
God, it's so stupid.
I hope the weather holds out for tomorrow, though, honestly.
Yeah, what'd you say, Remy? Morning only forecast?
Yeah.
The
currently?
bowl's going
I
to be in
just-
good shape.
Oh,
Sorry.
it's gonna be-
Saturday, Sunday looks good.
Yeah.
I mean, I might actually have a weekend beach day, the first one of the year.
Wow.
You like going to the beach?
I do.
I can't stand it.
You go to
Really?
the beach?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you're pretty freaking white, Jack.
Wow.
Fuck you, guy.
Whoa. It's a warning, guy. Come on.
My bad.
We're not even past the countdown. It's already flying.
Forgot about that part.
I will deduct the YouTube monetization you just cost me out of your paycheck.
Wow. That's
messed up, man.
great. Wow, the
He got triggered.
The F-bomb. It's easy with Jack, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty. Yeah, it's not hard to get me.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Be like a little lobster sitting out there. Oh, yeah.
All right. 23 seconds.
Yep.
Diego, you ready?
I don't know. I'm a little nervous tonight.
Why? Nothing to be nervous
We got a
about.
big name in here.
I got a big name in the house.
Very scary.
Back-to-back weeks. This is good.
Oh, what happened?
Oh, come on, Sid.
I got it. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Man Cave, the next edition of the SID's View podcast. Once again, Mother Nature threw a little monkey wrench into the weekend scheduled events, but we got some stuff in one epic race over at Waterford Speedway. What's up, Diego?
Yeah, man. It's going to be a lot of fun talking about that race. I'm looking forward to it.
All right, we got our girl Reminator here on the controls.
Am I going to be the one doing
I was
this?
going to have Rowdy Burns do it, but he just won another race over at Seekonk Speedway.
Yo, yo, yo. It's a beautiful Tuesday. I'm here with my boys. Let's do it.
All right, down in the bullpens, our Manfro Cosmo Kramer collection on sale this week.
What up, everybody? Your man Rob back in the house, and I am just really hoping that Mother Nature is getting all of whatever the hell this is out of the way so we can keep the weekend looking 80 and beautiful.
That's what I'm talking about. And our man Jack's over there at the news desk. What do you got this week, brother?
What's up, man? We got stuff from Stafford, Seekonk. We got some tour stuff. You'll hear from me soon.
All right, sounds good. Listen, if you want to join the fun, you got to get yourself in that live chat. You got to go to youtube.com/SidsView/join. Become a member. $4.99 a month. You get some bonus content on Thursdays. And we also would like to welcome in our Seekonk Grand Prix hot seat one of the more polarizing figures in modified racing these days, our man Stephen Kopcik's in the house. What's up, buddy?
Not much. Thanks for having me on.
Appreciate you being here. Let's get that graphic up there. Yeah, I always screw that one up. What else we got to get going before we get started? Oh, yes, the Monaco Ford results ticker, Diego. You know how they do it. They take good care of us over there at Monaco Ford. All the results from this past weekend, top fives, are on the scroll for everybody to see. Diego, where do we start?
I don't know. I mean, listen, I was happy to see. I couldn't watch Stafford in the flesh.
Yeah.
But my brother was back up there running, and there was a lot of good racing and great weather, finally.
It really was.
It was looking a little sketchy early in the week. I wasn't sure. I'm like, damn it, man. And Waterford was looking like a washout, which actually happened. I think we've raced twice this year at the
It's been
Speedbowl.
a month, right? Pretty much at this point.
Yeah, we've had a lot.
Waterford and Seekonk have been really taking it hard here on Saturdays.
Bad.
I feel like it's been forever since we've been down there that I've had footage to edit or anything. Yeah. The guys that only race at those tracks got to be chomping at the bit.
Listen, I went to open Thursday practice last week.
Yeah. Chock full of people there?
Dude, there was more cars than a Saturday night.
Because they're itching, right? They're ready to go.
There were cars down in the dirt pits. I bet you there was 15, 20 cars in the dirt pits.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's how big. We'd wait in line an hour just to go out for one 5-lap practice.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that's dedication.
Now, are and there's a couple, like, I think the SK lights are off this week.
Are they off this week?
Yeah. So, yeah, because I was talking to Evan Burgoyce at Stafford.
Yeah.
And he was like, he's like, it doesn't look good for tomorrow. And then we are off the next week. And I'm like, oh, man, like, they haven't raced in a month and a half.
Yeah, that's been going on with us with the late models. I was like, oh, man, we're off next week. Oh, then we got a rain out.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah,
you almost got to wonder if maybe they should, like, because I know they took, like, weeks off. Almost maybe, like, would they reevaluate that? Like, maybe actually put some of those weeks back on for some series?
I don't know how you do that.
Yeah, it'd be tough to coordinate.
It
all
would,
that.
but I don't know.
Well,
look into it.
I mean, the good news is Saturday's weather looks pretty clear.
Yeah.
So, can't say that for tomorrow at Thompson, but
Yeah, tomorrow's looking a little iffy for sure,
I
man.
know.
But, man, it's been brutal.
all right. Well, we got a lot to get to. Let's stop dilly-dallying. Let's get right into it. Our man Jack is ready to roll here with this week's weekly update.
All right, before we get started, want to give a big shout out to Fowler's Auto Wrecking for the weekly update this week. So we're going to start Friday night at Stafford, and another great race. Mikey Christopher Jr. won the Open 80 event, his first win on the year.
Yeah. So, Reminator, what do you think? You gonna play a clip over there?
Yeah, I have a clip over here. So it might be.
She's like, hello.
Yeah, she's just hanging out, just staring away.
I mean, this guy in the 80 lappers, I don't know what it is.
This is the final restart.
Yeah.
Julio was leading for majority of the second half of the race, and many restarts prior to this one.
I mean, they were going at the end there. They had like 4 back-to-back, I think.
Yeah.
And Julio got away on every single one, but right where it counted.
Christopher with a move to the bottom in turn
He left the bottom
Christopher
open.
sinks it in at a ton. Julio is on the outside. Drag race down the
Look what he
back
does here.
straightaway.
Holds it to the
No,
bottom.
this was
Yeah.
crazy.
Do you see that?
Yeah.
Here comes
Great
Mikey
way
Played
to
it
protect,
perfectly.
Here
protect the
comes
lead.
JP on the outside. They come off turn number 4. The fans are jumping up and down in their seats.
All right, so
Michael-
a couple things. Number one, I was in the stands watching that.
Yeah.
And everybody, like Ben said in that call, everybody was up on their seat. Like, that's all you want when you go to the races, is to be that excited for a finish. It was freaking great. The next thing I'll say is Julio, you couldn't have handled that any better than he did.
Yep.
I've seen many people lose a race like that and be pissed off at the guy that beat him or pissed off about something. And listen, he wasn't happy. How could you
Right,
be? He
right.
led the majority. That was his race.
Especially after a double length feature.
And, you know, as he said, there was cars in the back of the field that kept causing more restarts, and it was just giving Mikey Jr. another chance to see what he was going to do.
He was gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, Julio said something like he had so many chances to figure out the exact move I was going to make, and I guess by whatever that was, chance 4 or 5, eventually you just know what they're going to do.
Hey, listen, he's an A-lister now. That car is
100%.
dialed in. He's a defending champ at Thompson. He's won an SK race at every track. That team's got it going on, and he's going to be someone to deal with every week now.
Listen, I've watched the kid from SXR karts when Tapley started that at the
at the
Speedbowl
bowl.
with his dad. And I remember when he first got in the SK Light, when he was in here and he told you about it. I remember those days.
Sure.
Like, it wasn't a fluke that he was just jumping in modifieds and winning right away. And, him teamed up with Rocco and his dad, and I'm sure Steven's got some input. Everybody's got input to help him, and he's a hell of a little shoe.
He's got 3 top 2s this year.
The dude can drive.
He's got 3 top 2s. The only race he didn't get a top 2, he was in an accident.
And I'm really happy for his father. I've been friends with Ed for a long time.
Oh, yeah.
Ed eats, sleeps, shits that car. I know he does. And Vinny Beetle is trying to give those guys everything they need. But Mikey Christopher, he
it's a
won
big-time win.
won that race driving. You know, I don't know if he had the better car, but he won that. He's really good on long races.
He knows how to take care of the
And
car,
dude,
man.
he's such a professional.
Yep.
You know, when he got out, he was just so happy. You see him like,
Yeah.
I love it when you're in victory lane and you just see the raw emotions, you know,
For
like,
sure.
did you hear his father?
Oh, yeah.
His
Yeah.
father was pumped, man. It was such a great thing to see.
If you saw the clip, I think it was the clip that you put out, Rob, of the fence lines. Not only was it the win from his
Yep.
perspective,
Yep.
but you could hear Senior talking to Junior when he after he crossed the finish line. So
Yeah, it was awesome, man.
Yeah, and it's even better when you get out of the car, and the crowd was fantastic for Friday. Like, you could even see it on the Flow broadcast. Like Ben said, the fans are jumping up and down in their seats.
Yeah,
they really were.
That's all you could ask for.
Right.
Like when you go to a racetrack, I mean, especially
100%,
there's
dude.
so many short tracks in trouble around the world, right?
Yeah.
Around the
100%.
country.
yeah,
And you go to a place and you see a race like that.
it was one of those where like Junior got underneath him in 1, so I stood up, and then as they were coming down into 3, I stood up on the level, you know, the
Yeah.
Had to go even higher.
yeah, to get up
Had to
another.
go higher,
yeah,
yep.
it was. So, anyways, Diego, I know me and you picked Rocco and it didn't work out. So, Stephen, over to you. What happened there? You screwed us in the pick'ems. Huh?
I like that. Yeah.
What happened at the end, though? By the way, what happened with the end of Rocco? Because I felt like he was up front, and then
I thought he had like a pressure issue.
Distributor
or something.
broke or something.
something
What
happened on that last restart.
Yeah, we had a distributor break on us.
Oh, okay.
But, no, we just missed it a little bit. But Mikey did a great job. Polio's car is strong. Been strong all year. That's I mean, Ed and JP worked their tails off, I'm sure, but I know
Oh,
Keith is involved
Yeah.
in that.
Right.
Yeah,
You know who else is fast? Is Mikey Flynn.
dude, right?
On
I'm glad
fire.
you brought
Dude,
him up.
I'm
That
going to
car's
tell
been
you
fast.
this. If, you know, you watch that clip, and I remember when I was live watching, you know, Mikey just drove smart because he knows that everybody's going to try the bottom shot into 3, right? He came off a 2, well aware that Flynn was on him,
Yep.
and all he did was protect the bottom all the way down the backstretch. I don't even think he cared
Yeah,
about the 7 so much. He was more worried about the bottom shot because, you know, it would have been very easy for Mikey Flynn to bury it in there 3 wide and cause a bunch of havoc
Right.
if he didn't do that. Because, I mean, it's the SK80, right?
Right.
It pays
Right.
3,500 to win.
Well, those two guys going, you know, side by side in the corner like they did, going up the hill a little bit, you could see Chapman and Flynn were closing in fast. I mean,
Yeah.
that was the right move to make.
Hey, listen, Chapman had a hell of a run, too. The kid's no joke. Like, he ran up in the top 5, I think, pretty much the whole race, I think. So I don't
Yeah.
know. You know,
First top 5.
I didn't think it was going to happen that fast, but early in the year, I can't remember 2 or 3 weeks ago, I remember seeing that. You know it's him because he's got that neon green bumper,
Yeah.
and it just kind of hovers in the back of the screen, and you see it. You know exactly who it is. So those guys have done a good job too this year so far.
Right.
I thought it was going to be harder for him, but you know I wouldn't be surprised for a kid like him to knock off a win.
yeah.
Because he's
I think
close.
it's more than likely.
Yeah.
I really do.
Everyone's getting fired up that we said open 80. Just relax, all right?
Who
You all
said
know
that?
it was the SK.
I called it the SK80.
I just said 80 lapper. Who was it?
Thank you.
Right.
Maybe it was me. I don't know.
Anyway.
It's possible.
So
Carry on.
in the late models, Chris Buffoni captured his first career late model win Friday night.
That was
checked out.
I was so happy to see that because I talked to a couple of his crew guys the week before. Those guys been struggling. Last year they struggled. That kid, he pretty much kicks butt in those open streeter races the last couple of years. So I bet you they thought they were going to come in and do a little better. But Stafford's a different animal. You know, I think it's a real technical track compared to some of these other bull rings that are around. 2 total different corners.
Yep.
You can overdrive corners, and it takes some time, I think, to adapt to a track like that. You know, and they've been fast. If you watch, because I care about my pick'ems, even though I suck.
Yeah.
I
Which
look
is
at-
amazing. You still care.
But I look at lap times every week. I see who's quick during the day, and they've been fast.
Yeah.
The last couple weeks, like you know, when I picked Cody, you know, I said Cody was dropping laps in the streeters for weeks, and it's only a matter of time before a guy like him, you know, they just win on accident because they're so fast. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You look at lap times and you're still doing that bad. I mean,
Yeah, I know.
Damn.
Isn't that awful?
at least I have an excuse. I mean, I
know.
can't look at no freaking lap
Sometimes
times.
I pick with my heart too, though. That's the problem.
No, but the Cody
Sometimes-
pick,
Sometimes.
the Cody pick, that was a snipe. Anyway, that's off topic.
All right, so in the SK Lights, Nick Hovey continued having his career year, winning in the SK Lights.
My man is
again.
yo.
So let's Rem's got another clip here. This is him and Ron Midford doing a little slicing and dicing in front of the field. This was some pretty good action.
I thought he did a great job.
Oh, yeah. They were just throwing haymakers right here.
Right here.
Four
This is a great
crossovers
job
in a
by
row.
Nick. Ooh, because that could have got ugly right there.
Yeah, that would have been real bad.
Right, he was committed
Trying to get
almost.
into the top 5.
Paula Root to her inside, Megan Fuller to the outside lane. Have not heard much from Megan thus far here tonight. She's been able to avoid all
Man,
of
this
the
kid is
incidents
just
and runs
firing
well
on
among
all
the top
cylinders,
5.
man.
I see the battle for the lead here at the start-finish line, and it's a good one as they go back to turn number 1. Nicholas Hovey right to the inside of the racetrack with a
There's
full
some
head
great
of steam
moves
up
by
the
Ron
back
Midford
straight.
I was just
going to
say that. Yeah, I was impressed.
I mean, he knows how. Look, he gets out of it right here.
Yep, he's like, I'll do a little crossover.
Gets it back in the gas early.
Back to the point. Crossover move for Midford.
Mitford tries his best. He does take it
And then
back.
Nick does the same
Hovey
thing to
says,
him.
no way. He'll try the same type of move.
That's fun
off
racing
turn
to
number
watch.
2,
Oh, 100%.
Down into turn 3. It is Hovey by inches. Here
Even
comes
Bennett getting up in this. That was
Yeah.
crazy to
That's
see.
the best thing that could have happened to Hovey right there.
Right.
Yeah, for sure.
You
Yeah.
know, but Midford had a solid run.
Yeah, he
going.
was fast. Yep.
Yeah, he was fast. But, listen, Nicky's my boy. That dude is firing on 12 cylinders. I mean, he is just.
Yeah, he's
I
gonna be
mean,
tough to beat.
And he is just confident. It's like, it's hard to explain to somebody like, you talk to Nick during the day. Like I talked to him during the day today, and that move going into 1, I say, Nick, it's a great move by you because that could have been the end. Right? You get in, he chops your nose, he goes spinning, you go to dead last.
Yeah.
Right? That's the difference. That's how you mature and you do things the correct way. You've got a good car. Just wait another half a lap.
Well, I think the amazing thing is, and you guys both probably know this, that you've had nights where you just know, like, oh, my car's good. Like, I'm going to be tough to beat. I got the car to win. And it's like Nick has that car every time he shows up at all 3 of the tracks.
Yeah.
He's always going to be
listen,
the guy to beat.
I think a lot of it has to do with his confidence, though.
Yeah.
He goes to the track pissed if he's not P1 on the charts at practice. But, I give him a lot of credit because I know I'm talking a lot about him, but he cares. He's learning a lot from Keith and Todd.
Yeah.
He cares about spring changes. We talk about this stuff all week. I try to do this. I said, Nick, why don't you guys try to do that? And we throw this back and forth in between maybe screen cleaning or something during the day. But it's a lot of fun.
I thought you were going to say watching Sid's View
No,
episodes.
we don't do that.
That's messed up. Dude.
I'm like,
come on.
Well, I say, Nick, we got to get off the phone. We got a lot of screens to clean.
Nick's in the corner watching Sid's View from 2013.
Yeah, he's having a hell of a year, though. So, congrats to those guys, man.
All right, so in the limited late models, Gary Patnoe got his first win in his newly constructed car that he did over the offseason, and then Brent Gleason won in the street stocks.
Can we go back to the limited race?
Dude, I love that guy, Gary. Gary Patnoe.
Dude, his interview is great.
He is just, you can tell he's just so grateful for every win. Like, you can just tell.
I enjoyed watching his interview.
Yep.
A lot.
I like his
100%.
car.
His car
looks fantastic.
Dude,
Yeah.
his cars are sweet. I love, like Steve talked about it earlier. There's nothing better than somebody that takes pride in their stuff.
Yeah.
I value that so much, and they obviously come with a good-looking car every week, and it runs pretty well every week. Even last year, he had a lot of bad luck, but I think you make your own luck sometimes. But they've been fast this year out of the box, and he won. Not to put a damper on the weekend, I thought what's his name kind of drove a little erratic that race. Cormier.
Oh, Winter and Cormier both got parked.
Yeah, and Cormier had gotten Haidar when it wasn't even Haidar that had got into him. I don't know if you'd seen that whole incident on the front stretch, got turned around.
Yep.
But Haidar went in the fence pretty good on the front stretch. I was like, oh, boy.
Yeah,
But,
that was something.
Fro had mentioned Matt Winter, so it came out that he's suspended for the next 2 events at Stafford and will be on probation.
What did he do?
For the remainder of the season, following some infractions Friday night.
Do you know what they were?
He got black flagged, I think, and then
He didn't answer it.
Yeah.
Oh, he wouldn't get off the track?
Yeah, they told him to park it, and well, he didn't park it.
Oh.
So You know what happens.
He's fun to watch too. It's too bad.
I agree. He is.
I love
he
to
has
watch.
a loose cannon energy, but it's
really
really entertaining.
He's got that aggressive approach to racing, and it's fun to watch him race.
Yeah.
It's too bad.
I also heard that he wanted to go up to the officials during the race, or he did go to them during, while the feature was still going.
Yeah, everybody. I think everybody's done that, right?
Diego, you done it?
I don't know.
Steven, what, you done it?
No.
Never, right?
I wonder if my brother's ever done it.
You wonder that?
Oh, I remember one time he mooned the whole front stretch.
I got video of it.
Yes. He like stood up on the wall and I think
maybe that'll be the nostalgia nugget next week.
I think he did that. Did he do that?
No, he didn't moon him, but he was animated on the Jersey Barriers.
Oh my god!
I think you're thinking of Joe Coates.
Oh, Joe Coates.
He mooned him at.
What do you like, Randy Moss him or something? Like
what's that?
Never mind.
All
right.
He said nah in the chat, Diego. I don't know if you saw it. He said you're making up stories.
That was no,
hallucination.
Yeah, whatever. My brother loves it when I make up stories, but I must have been Joey. I must have been thinking of Joey Coates. I remember one of them did it.
Yeah, Joey Coates did it at Thompson.
Yeah. All right. So Seekonk on Friday in the Pure Stocks, Danny Mesa Jr. won the opening round of the Everett's Auto Parts Triple Crown. Arthur Manak got his first Miak got his first Sport 4 win on the year. I think Remy has the video of that.
Oh, let's see it.
I do have the ending of it.
Yeah, so we got a little meltdown here at the end.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Good meltdown.
Across the stripe. It's still Lafort by a half.
I like how those cars look.
These two here,
they're like mini limited.
Lafort and Peon, they were
battling down into 3 and 4.
Actually, this is to the white flag. But these two were battling the whole race.
Down to the bottom he goes.
The 0 tried getting in there a lot, and the 19 would always win until this.
Contact is made. They both
and then
away.
the 19, the pin has been pulled.
Here comes the 19.
Oh my god, he almost wrecked
Dude, the
it.
0 saved the 19 though.
See, that was just stupid, though. You threw the whole race away.
That's a bad job by 19.
He had a shot to win there still.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Right.
I like how those cars look. I feel like I don't see a lot of clips of those. They're fun looking.
Oh, yeah.
That's why we threw the clip out there for you,
nice.
guy. Yeah.
All right, so Jacob Burns goes back-to-back in the Legend cars. Aaliyah DeSoma grabs the first career win in the Bando Outlaws, and then Jace Chaber made it 3 in a row in the Bando Bandits.
Yeah,
so,
undefeated in the old Bandits.
Wow.
Yep. And then Friday at Claremont, Matt Kimball in the MRS earned his 3rd career MRS victory. Brian Roby and Jacob Perry rounded out the top 3 there.
I thought I had a lock with Roby up there too, man.
Yeah, you were pretty confident in that
I
pick.
thought I had a lock. That's his home track, dude. He's usually nasty at Claremont.
Yeah.
And I thought that was a given, but Kimball's a tough competitor, man.
For sure.
Right?
Yep.
That boy runs good.
He makes great runs on, Monaco, too.
Yeah.
I talked to him a few times last
He was
year.
one of the only ones from up north that showed up to that last tri-track race,
to
right?
the White Mountain?
Yeah. Yeah.
Jeffrey Battle's been there. He was at Thunder Road as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you're right. Yeah, there's not too many of them.
Yeah.
So then rounding out the action from Friday night at Riverside in the R&R Open Street Stock, Jason Woodard took down Woodard took down the win.
And, I was real confident that Lynham got that one, and then he announced on Facebook by a comment on their post saying he wasn't going. I was like, of course. I mean, I picked him, so, naturally he would show up.
Right.
Yeah, I picked Timmy Salamito.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, we knew that day he wasn't showing up.
Yeah, I didn't.
little
I figured,
different.
Riverhead, Timmy Salamito, it's like hand in hand. How do you not go?
Well,
he didn't go.
He didn't go.
I texted him. I'm like, bro, you're not going? He's like, yeah, I'm not going. I'm like, dude.
You got to send that text before the podcast, guy.
I just thought it was given. I mean, Timmy Salamito, it's like.
It's a given that you're going to finish last again.
It's like Dave Sapienza going to Riverhead. I mean, it happens.
Oh, don't get too excited, Sid. I'm still in the running for that one.
Yeah, that's true.
I wouldn't get too ahead of yourself.
That was some big news, wasn't it?
What, Sapienza?
Yeah, not being able to go to Riverhead and race.
I mean,
I don't know. I was enjoying watching it all, the little drama play out online.
I feel like we talk about Sapienza a lot, and it's never about what he does on the track.
Never.
It's all right.
Okay.
Whatever.
What else you got, Jack?
All right, so Saturday at Waterford and Seekonk was sadly rained out, so we'll move on to Sunday at Riverhead in the Wheelin' Tour. Justin Bonsignor won the Miller Lite Salute Steve Park 200. That makes him a record 12-time NASCAR Wheelin' Modified Tour winner at Riverhead Raceway. Matt Hirschman and Patrick Emmering rounded out the top 3.
Steven, how about your day over there? How do you like Riverhead? Seems like that's a tough track.
It's it's hard. It's real hard. There's nothing else like it or that even comes close to that place like that I've ever raced or can think of besides like Bowman Gray.
Yeah.
But our day went pretty well. Like we practiced good. The car drove good. We were second in practice. We qualified second. And then we just missed it for the race. I think we could have been good had we got our tires right, but we didn't. But I was still happy enough, like, never racing.
Where did you finish?
15th.
Yeah.
That was your first time racing there?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I didn't finish good. I thought I was the last car on the lead lap, which would have put me 9th. But somehow everyone got the wave around, I think, on that last yellow. So, like, I didn't really try and fight for spots at the end. Like, my car wasn't great. It would have been hard to, but, like, I didn't think I had to because I didn't realize who was, how many cars were on the lead lap. But,
man, it seems like a real tough track, though. There's a lot of gouging happening. Like,
yeah, it's hard. It's hard to get a handle of.
Seems like that's the main way to pass. There's like no banking to it,
It
right?
just seems like a lot of gouging, especially late in the run. Boy, you gotta just tighten your belts because it's coming. But
you guys go back there one more time, right? Later in the year?
I think September. I feel good about the track. I think we can run good there. But and I'm like I said, I'm not really too disappointed. No, like I left there knowing I could run all right there. So it's better than like not having a clue what happened and like walking away getting your ass kicked.
Well, listen, if you're second quick in practice, you showed some good speed, so you've got the goods.
Yeah.
So.
And then you're going back up to White Mountain weekend after next for the NASCAR Tour, huh?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, the 28th.
You like that track?
I do.
I feel like it runs fast for as small as it is, but it's really banked.
Yeah, it's banked, and you get wide on the straightaways. Like it's looking at it, you wouldn't think the place is really anything special, but like just based off the way the pavement looks or whatever. But you got pretty good grip there. It's pretty racy.
Yeah,
you can move around. The backstretch, like the way it kind of tapers off like that, it makes it interesting because some people use it like in the race to getting to turn 3 better. It's just it's an interesting place. I like it.
Yeah. The first time we went there was last year with the Monaco series, and I remember watching the heat races up on the tower.
Yeah.
And I was like taken aback, kind of like you said, like, oh, this is a racy track. Like you just by looking at it when we pulled in, you wouldn't think that, it's a pretty unique place.
Was the tri-track just there?
Yeah, we were just there.
Yeah.
Race.
I thought that was a fun racetrack to watch. It was. You ran good. Did you win it?
No, Jake Johnson won. I didn't run great, honestly.
I thought, I couldn't remember. But I remember it was a good race. You always seem to run up front in the tri-track, so I just don't know. I remember there was one race you got tangled up with somebody in the backstretch there, and I don't remember what.
Well, that was White Mountain.
Was that White Mountain?
He finished 5th, but
yeah.
For your standards, that's not good enough.
Well, we ran okay, but I just I wasn't thrilled with it because we ran really well there last year, and I don't feel like we ran better this year. So
understood.
Whatever, but we'll be good. We'll be good for the tour race, hopefully.
All right, Jack. What else?
All right, so Sunday at Star in the New England Super Modified Series, Jeffrey Battle won his second career win on the Super Modified Series.
He did to me what Kimball did to you in the Pick'ems because I had McKennedy. He finished second. Damn it. The Northerners are screwing us, man.
Yeah. Usually McKennedy's pretty much a lock there.
Yeah, he's pretty stout there. Yep.
And then Garrett Hall won in the Pass North race, his first win since the 2022 Thompson World Series.
So we have a little meltdown alert. The Pass race. Remy's got another clip.
Woo!
Yeah, interesting.
Hang on in turn 4. There goes Mike Mitchell.
I think this is the Mike Mitchell that's got Seekonk roots, if I'm not mistaken.
Trying to get it refired, yellow flag.
Oh boy.
Yeah. Stay with it.
Give it
I
just a
wish
second.
the camera person had this panned over just slightly to the right.
The 8th spot, and it all comes apart in
Just
turn
slightly
4.
to the right, we would have got it from the start, but
We are under
Wait
caution
for
with
it.
15 laps to go.
Wait for it.
And keep an eye on the back straightaway here.
So that's
What
Mitchell
the-
we got a
with
fire
the
on
29 that he felt spun him out. Now
Oh,
wait,
look at that
listen to
car,
this.
dude.
Well,
Wait,
Yeah.
Cole Roby out of his car already.
now listen to this. Wait for it.
And word is going to be relayed to the 40 of Mike Mitchell that he can take the rest of the year off from past super late model
How about that?
competition.
Uh-huh.
The rest of the year, immediate.
That's a wrap, guy.
Immediate call is insane.
That's unbelievable, huh? Talk about
Moment
not
of
playing around.
holy.
Jesus.
Did you see that car? Cole Roby's car was destroyed.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, see, for a second I was confused. I thought the car on fire was Mike Mitchell, and I was like, "Well, that's kind of."
You know, the
stupid.
guy,
Like,
the guy
that's
that,
a complete fail.
what's his name? Garrett Hall. Is that the one who won?
Yeah.
Yes.
You know, he goes down south and runs that car with the pros sometimes. So he gets around a little bit.
Yep.
All right. So last.
Chowder saying it is the same guy. Yeah, Mike Mitchell. I have a epic meltdown from him in a Sid's View 2014. We did a couple
Really?
Sid's View up there, in a streeter, and he lost his. He got DQ'd because his like front panel was flapping, and they were DQing him, and he was in the lead, and he went berserk.
Lost
and,
it.
Yeah, he got out of the car. It was great.
Glad to see nothing's
I
changed.
was like, yeah, we only went up there once or twice, and we got a meltdown. And I think the other time was that crazy four wide finish there. So, yeah, that was a good time. Go ahead.
All right. Last but not least, the Race of Champions announced on Friday that the Modified Racing Series has been added to the Punch Your Ticket program. Start over.
Wait, hold on. Let's do this properly. Hold on. Go ahead.
Okay. So the Race of Champions announced on Friday that the Modified Racing Series has been added to the Punch Your Ticket to Thompson program, meaning that any winner of an MRS race this season will earn an automatic qualifying for the Race of Champions 150 at Thompson later in the year. The Punch Your Ticket program, was previously announced for all winners
Smart move.
of the Monaco Modified Series. Again, Fowler's Auto Wrecking. Thanks for the weekly update. That's all I got.
Is that a big deal?
I don't know.
I'm waiting to see if the Race of Champions gets a little bit of. I mean, it's got a wonderful history,
Yeah.
but it's been kind of disconnected from New England for several decades now.
Right.
Yeah.
So I like the effort of kind of enticing New Englanders to get into that race.
Yeah.
But I don't know how much. I mean, at one time it was the most prestigious race in modified racing from like the 50s probably into the mid 90s. And so it's been like 30 years since like kind of like when Loudon took over.
right.
That's kind of been like the premier modified race. Or if they go to Martinsville.
Steve, is that race on your guys' radar?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I would love it to see all the teams show up. That's what I'm saying. Like I don't mean to discredit the Punch Your Ticket because they used to do that. It was a big deal back when they used to do
The North-South Shootout.
The
they did it.
North-South
Well, they
Shootout.
used to do it for the Race of Champions back in the day,
Yeah.
too. Yeah.
But I think, it's
It's not a novel idea. They've done it
I
for a
would
while.
think at Thompson they would start almost all their cars. I mean, it's a big track. You'd have to have 50 cars for it to really matter,
Yeah, right.
right?
Which is what the Race of Champions used to be back in the day.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be great, man. What a great race that would be for Thompson Speedway to get that amount of modifieds up there.
Yeah, see, like, it's going to be at the World Series, right? So, I mean, you guys are going to be there because of the tour race, right? So there's going to be, all the tour guys are going to be there. But I wonder how many that are regulars on the Race of Champions that are based in New York are going to come to Thompson.
Steve, I got a question for you because
Yeah.
you probably know this. Those guys in your opinion, in the ROC that run the ROC series, do they have enough ponies under the hood to run at a big track like the 5H? Do they build motors like that for those, or do you know?
I don't know enough about it, but I would say they do.
Yeah.
I just don't know enough about it because we haven't raced any ROC stuff. But
Yeah.
I've been to some ROC races, and I would say those teams are as calibered as some of the a lot of the teams here.
It always seems like when you look at our wheel and tour teams or our tri-track teams, man, there is a lot of studs in the stables there, and any of those ROC teams that come in, it'd be great.
I think, if I remember correctly, because Joe Scott Nicky runs the ROC, and I interviewed him for the Stefanik doc, and I think he said he took a straw poll with his competitors,
Yeah.
and a majority of them were all for the Race of Champions event being at Thompson. So it's quite possible.
And
that
now
they'll
Fenceline had just said that it's a point
Points
show.
race.
Yeah.
So they'll be there, which is awesome.
Yeah.
It's going to be a great
Oh,
show.
that'd be pretty good then. I
Oh,
bet.
yeah, that'll
I'm
be
excited for
great.
that.
All right, so let's take a look. See, let's get some point standings updates here. Let's start you off with Stafford Speedway here. So Mikey Jr. remains on top. Julio second. Mikey Flynn. Just how they finished there in the race, actually. Andrew Duran. So we didn't talk about Paul Verricchio. He
Dude, he dropped right off.
well, he not only did he not make it out there, then he originally got credited with a 15th place finish, and then they took those points away from him too, which, by the way, is the right call. He didn't take the green.
He did not start the race.
Right, he didn't take the green flag, so that's a bummer for him, but was the right call. Nick Hovey already has a pretty nice lead here in the SK Lights early in the season, though.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
And Matt,
Dude, the Lambros has been running good.
100%.
Yeah, man.
Yep. And Jason Lafayette said, "Listen, I know all the hype was with Haidar, but I'm here too, running limited late models."
It's so awesome,
Bro.
He's been running. He's been on fire.
Yeah,
Car
he's been
looks
doing
good, too.
Yep.
Yep, it's fast. Yep. And then you got the streeters over there, Burt Willett.
I think that's going to shape up to be a fun battle. I
What's
really
that,
do.
the
Yeah,
Streeters?
we were talking
yeah.
about this last week. I mean,
Yeah.
like the streeters are the streeters, man. They're always going to be fun to watch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
By the way, I stopped by Tyler Trott and I'm like, dude, what's going on? Are you racing the season or what? He
What do you
says,
say?
He said, I'm racing the season.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
He says, I want to go for it again. He's like, I got a good group of people that have been behind me for a long time,
Yeah, yeah.
and we're chasing it again. And
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, cool. That's good to hear.
I
So-
felt pretty confident about that. I was like, I mean, you're running all the races so far, man. I mean, you're doing pretty good. He's like, yeah, we're going to give it one more shot.
How about Andrew Durant, though, leading the late model points
Yeah.
right now?
right.
Very silent performance, too, obviously.
He
with
had a
the
good
Verrecchio
second
wins.
place last
Right.
week, too, man.
Right.
I mean,
it maths out, but, like, I just, like, really?
he's a racer,
You know?
too.
Yep.
Yep.
Dude, he's like, that dude is like, you're in for a dog fight with that cat.
Yep.
All right, let's go. Good thanks to our friends over there at Mid-State Site Development. How about Seacont Grand Prix going to help us out? We're going to take a look at the Fast Friday, since Saturday, unfortunately, they have not been running, so we're not going to update them.
Yep.
So we got Jared Cordera with a tied, actually, with Brent Robideau on the Pure
Oh,
Stocks.
Robido's in chat right
Yeah.
now. One of them is, at least.
Yep.
Remy,
And,
they like your shirt.
Richie Johnson. That's right.
Yeah.
Remy is rocking the Robideau gear today. Richie Johnson in front of the Sport Fours. Jacob Burns just fired him off in the Legend cars. Aaliyah DeSoma not only got the win, but took over the point lead. Jace Chaber undefeated in
That's
the
great.
Bandits. Yeah, so. All right, let's go to the Touring Series. So the Touring Series has been a challenge, I have to say. Big thanks to our friends over there at JDL Motorsports. The ones in yellow is I couldn't get the updated points. They had races, and I couldn't get the updated points from their series before we went to Showtime, started recording. But our in-studio guest over there is sitting in 4th place in the Wheel and Modified Tour standings and over in 5th place in the Monaco Mod. So good start to the season there for you there, brother.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and then the Act Tour was off. They did not race. So hopefully we'll have some updated hopefully I can get these guys to coordinate them and get some more updates. Let's go to
Right.
the other rounds.
Yeah,
And
I was looking for MRS points. They're kind of hard to
yeah,
find.
it was tough. Willie had sent me a message earlier. We were right about to go to a record, but we'll get it straightened out here. So the R&R went. Obviously, Lynham is, I'm assuming that Jason Woodard took over the point lead there. So hopefully we can get that stuff straightened out as we go along and try to get these point things going. And then I figured with our friends over at Serve Pro, let's have a look-see as we dive into Thompson event tomorrow. Just a little refresher of what's going on there. So Pulio's ahead in the Sunoco mods. Zach Robinson's got the late model lead. Look at that. Nick Hovey's leading the SK Lights. Shocker. And Leadfoot there. And the Streeters, of course, there's going to be big to-doings there with the rule changes there.
Yep.
And then Dave Trudeau, the crafty veteran.
Listen, that's a Sunoco mod. If those guys keep showing up every week, that actually could be a fun one to watch because I feel like every
Dude,
time we've gone, somehow that's been the highlight race.
It's a great paying
is.
race. I
It
mean,
is.
3,000 to win, right? I think those races pay $3,000, don't they?
I thought it was 35.
I couldn't confirm that.
Yeah, I mean,
don't
what a
know.
great paying race for
Yeah.
pretty much an SK.
Right.
That's a great paying race. I mean, if you would have had them races locally, you would have had 35 cars show up, you know?
Yeah.
So,
All right, Reminator, is you ready?
Sure.
All right, let's giddy up. It's time once again for our Waddell Communications Nostalgia Nugget. Did you like that?
You guys saved it.
I had to take that
Bad
big,
to
deep
begin.
breath there, you know? What can I tell you? Diego's being weird again. Why do you always have to be weird, dude? What is the matter with you?
I wouldn't be Diego.
That is true. All right, so you know what happened, Remy?
What?
I had a video clip that I was going to show for this, and I forgot to give it to you.
Jesus.
Yeah, this is going to be a disaster, huh? So listen, the Wild and Wacky Wednesday is starting. It's starting on a Sunday.
Sunday!
Yeah, Wild and Wacky Wednesday, Sunday, whatever that means. So what I was going to do is, in honor of 25th season, by the way, of the Wild and Wacky
it's
Wednesday.
amazing. I remember when it started.
Happy anniversary to Wacky.
Man.
So did you go to those when they first started?
Dude, I wouldn't miss one.
Yeah.
I used to go down and get my ice cold Bush Light. Oh, yeah. it
Dude,
was
2021,
great, dude.
2022, I swear I saw almost the whole season.
All right, so I have lickety split here. See if I. So what I was going to do is I'm going to pay a little tribute to the beginning, the origins of the Wild and Wacky Wednesday. This is from the Speedbowl doc, and it kind of gives a how the Wild and Wacky Wednesdays became a thing. Do you remember in the 90s when it was Thursday Night Thunder and then Sundays with the trucks and legend cars? Like,
no, not really.
all right, well then good. This is why you should be paying attention.
I saw these midweek programs happening. One of the most successful ones was a track in the Midwest that called it Thirsty Thursdays. They put a beer sponsor on it and, low price and, touted selling a lot of beer. We called it Thursday Night Thunder.
By the way, go ahead.
What about the Thursday Thunder series in the late 90s?
Don't know anything about it.
Come on, really?
I wasn't there.
Are you serious?
The Thursday Thunder series?
Calling Lucky out.
Legend cars, trucks.
Oh, the TNT.
Yeah, see, now you're with me.
The TNT.
Tony Leckie, after seeing how...
All right, real quick, Rob, just take some notes there, young
Yeah.
whippersnapper.
Yeah.
Never, Remy, put it back up there, will you? Never interview a guy in a black shirt on a black
know,
couch.
he's a floating head.
He's swimming in black. Sorry,
It's also
sorry, Terry.
perfectly
Daddy
cropped
is
to his
working.
head. It's amazing.
Terry needs therapy.
That's what TNT.
Whatever the mix was that we tried when we
Them
tried
trucks
the
are looking pretty
Thursdays,
nice.
it wasn't working. We
Your boy Kevin
weren't drawing
Davis, he
cars
was
and we weren't
nasty in the
drawing
trucks.
Fans. But I heard about some tracks that were making their midweek program work.
Terry had actually gone up
Chris
to Beach
Pastriak
Ridge,
in the
and
five
they had
right
a
there.
midweek show.
Wow, really?
I went to Beach Ridge, and I learned about their midweek program.
So he came back and he said, "I'd like to start this division." So we created the rules, very loose, stock, and so then we started running it.
We brought it back out of the box with a new concept.
So I have to tell you why this is playing. So when you're editing, and I make a big deal about the bring that down a little bit. I make a big deal about the music, and you really want to find the music. And I knew when I heard this song, I'm like, oh yeah, that's the music I got to use for the Wild and Wacky Wednesday segment.
It's just a different atmosphere.
So, anyways, check it out on the on our YouTube channel.
Dude, I used to love them.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
I mean, it's still a different vibe. It's not like it was when it first started, but it is. And, we've talked about if they're as successful as they used to be, but to have a midweek series that is going to be in its 25th season, that's pretty impressive.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, Rich is saying instead they lost the Wacky. I mean, you got to get the demo derbies back. You got to get the buses back. That's Wacky right there.
Right. Yep. Yeah, the late, great Billy Roberts. Yeah, it was good to see him. All right. Like we said before, it's the Cosmo Kramer Memorial Edition. Not Memorial, yes, but the whatever. Rob, just
roll the clip.
Yeah, do your thing. Oh, I gotta get the echo out now. Jeez. Craziness is happening.
I like the echo. It's like our little remix.
I gotta tell you,
Little remix.
I'm impressed that I was able to pull that video off when I totally screwed up.
Right?
I give it to Remy.
That's props right
we
there,
made it happen.
You did a great
All right,
job.
people.
Thanks,
For the
Remy.
Who's Your Tiree stat chat today, we have 3 questions. We'll start off with a relevant one, you could say. Quite relevant. Diego, Steven, this one really is for you guys.
Oh, okay. Listen up.
I like that.
As a driver, is it true that any press is good press?
That's a question for Steven. My man.
Yeah, I think so. Absolutely.
Tell me about
I mean, to a point, yeah. Yep.
Listen, it doesn't matter, man, whether it's when you're good, they're going to hate on you.
Yeah.
So there's always going to be something negative said because there's always somebody trying to knock you down. And it's all good. I mean, if you're in the press and people are talking about you, you're doing something right. I
don't know about doing something right. I mean, we just played the pass clip and we talked more about Mike Mitchell than the guy that won the race. So,
right.
I mean, would you say that Mike Mitchell is doing something right?
You know yeah, I know, but I think it's a good thing when something like that are maybe not so good, but when you're competitive in racing and people don't like you or they like you and they're taught, there's negatives about you. And there's always somebody behind you to support you.
Right.
I know what you're saying. And like, sometimes the story isn't about who won the race.
Right.
And so it's not, So I see what you're saying.
But I do agree. Any press is.
It seems to be. I mean, if you have the ability to do it, you can usually make it work.
And pretty much it keeps you relevant.
Right. Right.
So.
Especially in, like Rich just said, social media age.
Yes,
now,
for sure.
If your name's doing numbers, you sort of become the brand with that. You can run with it.
For sure.
Before we get into the next question, what dumpster does
what
Fro
is that all
get
about?
his shirts from?
Now, listen, I know we have a lot of fun with Fro, but the wardrobe that he brings to the podcast is top shelf.
Yeah, Moo Mike,
top shelf.
Why don't you send into the old Sid's View podcast Gmail a picture, whatever greasy ass pizza stained shirt you're wearing?
Oh,
that's what I'm talking about, bro. Get on his ass.
You like that? Yeah,
Hell
let's see it, Moo Mike.
Wow.
Anyway,
you triggered him. You triggered him.
That a boy, Rob.
How about that?
That a boy.
Wow. There you go, buddy.
Oh, my
All right,
God.
carry on.
Last week, when we talked about the open street stocks in Thompson, we were talking kind of a jarring change, right? A lot of those guys probably aren't too happy about it. So I'd like to ask you guys this week, under what circumstances is it appropriate to make midseason rule changes?
Listen, obviously Thompson felt like they had to do something, right? I mean, if you have 5 cars showing up, what are you going to do the next week when there's 3?
Right.
Right? And say, damn, I should have did that.
Yeah, but what's the guarantee that if you change the rules and make them 3? Like we kind of talked about this last week with Rocco, where they changed the SKs to 604s, and it really didn't make much of a difference with the car count. So was it worth it to even change?
Right.
And if anything, you're forcing people now to get a different motor, right? You're never going to see Mike Christopher Jr. at Thompson now.
Right.
You can just cross him off the list, right? So you actually limited the people that are going to go to your track. That's a specific rule change here I'm talking about.
Yeah.
But I don't think changing the rule guarantees that it's going to make anything better.
It's such a tough draw. I mean, for them to make that decision, they felt like they had to have felt like they were in a little bit of a dire need for that division.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, they are at a point either you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. Right? I mean, we could say what we want to say, but if 15 cars show up tomorrow, it was a great move.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah.
Right.
If more than 5 cars show up, it was a good move
And
because I don't think anybody else was coming.
Yeah, and despite what I just said about what they did with the SK/604s, I do like that they keep trying instead of just sit around and do nothing, right?
Right.
And but when you do that, there's going to be swings and misses. So I would never disparage any track operators for trying.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess we're gonna have to wait and see if it's gonna make a difference.
It just seems to me that, I mean, if you change the rule and then it ends up disastrous, let's say, like you guys just said, you only have 7,
well, they're not
so
really,
and then you have 3. I mean, what do? You can't go back.
It's almost like, so my brother had just said in there, like Waterford and Thompson have let those rules get wide open. They're like limited lates now.
Yeah.
Stafford I know we talk so good about them, but they've kept them street stocks. And the class is 24 cars show up every week.
I was talking to Ernie LaRose about this at the track on Friday.
Yeah.
Like, it sounds stupid now, but we always looked down at the Stafford when they were the Dare stocks.
Right.
'Cause those aren't real street stocks.
Right.
Right. I didn't really know any of it. I know Norm Sears would win his 2 races. I knew him. And that was about it. Like, they were kind of like on an island by themselves. And now they have probably the best division.
Dude, I have talked to some people that either A, have a street stock at home, or B, that are old street stock late model champions that are aggressively looking to go street stock racing at Stafford.
Yep.
Right?
It's the place to be now.
And the other great thing about it is it could just be fun with, I mean, when you come from like modified or late model racing and you go street stock racing, the expenses are cut way down, right? Compared to buying SK tires weekly or whatever. And then you could really just have fun. You just hope you don't tear your stuff up. But, you know, you just go there a little more relaxed. Like my brother, he's just going there. He wants to win really bad and he's getting close. But he's having a hell of a time, I think. Just like, this is a lot of fun again.
Right.
And that's what's missing with the Waterford and the Thompson cars. They're all outlaw cars. You know, you better bring a motor or you better bring something really fierce for straight tube chassis if you want to compete with these guys.
Yeah. And the Thompson guys especially, I feel like, are in this weird, like, for lack of a better term, kind of like an uncanny valley. Like, with Waterford, it's like you put a wing on it, you're basically a limited late
Listen,
model.
I hate
mean, but like Larry Barnett, like, if he doesn't race Thompson, where is he going to go?
The thing that hurts the division up at Thompson, as soon as you took Corey Fanning and Ryan Waterman out of division, you know, it took 2 of the heaviest street stock hitters away right away from somebody who you really like to watch. Corey Fanning's tough.
Corey took himself out.
Corey took himself out, but I'm just saying, when you take 2 really good cars out of division, you know, it's tough. It's tough for a division that's already hurting. So, I mean, those guys, to get back to your question, they felt like they had to do something.
Yep.
Whose call is it? I mean, is it the right one or the wrong one? I guess we'll find out tomorrow, right?
We'll know. All right, and I have one more for you.
All right, then.
So the Mod Tour races, you know, I do appreciate the series a lot, but a lot of people will say, you know, it's too long. It becomes just a strategy race.
You mean the length of the race
yes,
is too long?
Yeah. Yes. Now, would you say it's hurting the overall product? I mean, would you prefer like some kind of a heat lineup and then a shorter feature, or do you think it's good the way it is?
Ooh,
that's a good question for you.
Yeah.
How about this? How about we throw a little wrench in the program?
Okay.
We've talked about this a little. I talked with my buddy Daryl about it. It would even be more interesting. Tapley did this at the bowl. The year I was trying to win a championship, they were throwing like 3, 2, 1 points, top 3. Right? So could you imagine if you threw points in there or some money from a sponsor?
Well, wait a second. Hold on. Let's go back to Stephen here, because they don't do heat races on the tour. We're talking about the tour. They time trial.
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you like time trialing?
So there's like, they both have their, I think the tour is good how it is, and I think Monaco's tri-track is good how it is. Like, the distance of the race is good. I think it's got to be as long as it is, you know, with the way they're structuring the pit stops now. And, you know, they'll give you a certain amount of tires. You can use every one in the race if you wanted to and change as many times as you want. And it, like, I think that, I disagree with what that guy's saying, because that's what creates the coming and going and the different pit cycles and that these teams have, you know, like, if it wasn't that way, and I'm not knocking any other series, they both have their, you know, good things about them, but it would be a little more predictable. I think everyone would pit at the same time.
Yep.
You know, probably be less passing, less lead changes. You know, there's pros and cons to both of it.
Right, and there really is something to that. There was a Thompson race earlier on in the season where, again, like you said, the pitch strategy, like watching Ron Slick pit late, go all the way to the back, and have to run back through the field, like that was what made it interesting. So I mean,
but do you think
maybe there was a happy medium? I mean, I don't know.
What about for the overall product though of the, like say you run a 150 lapper, But for 125, everybody's kind of just chilling, right? I mean, everybody's just in line, not really racing, right? You just, you just got to be in a right spot so you can pit. I'm talking about for the people sitting in the stands, because sometimes they become like a snooze fest. You go to Thompson and they run 100 laps straight. You don't even know who the hell's leading by that time. The cars are just getting lapped. There's cars everywhere.
Yeah, that's true, but that can happen with any qualifying format in any race.
Yeah.
Well, that goes
there's
back
nothing
to
that's gonna
shortening
help
the race, though. I know it may take away some of the prestige of the Wheel and Modified Tour, but
I mean, I don't. Yeah, when Rocco was here last week, he was saying how he loves the grind of the 40 lap SK race.
yeah,
Right.
But they become super exciting as the person sitting out here to watch Kopcik and Rocco duke it out for 20 laps for third. And let's see, once he gets him, can he get second?
Yeah.
I think you see that just like in a cup race late in a run. You guys all pit, all of a sudden, the last 25 laps, it's cutthroat.
Yeah.
And that's what people want to see. Like, the race is going to get good now.
Yeah.
I think that's the question, right? Do you shorten that one?
Right.
I don't know the answer to it either, but
Well, I mean, let me amend the question then. Let's say they kept the length the same of the race. Would you still want to see heat races over time trials?
that's a good question.
I mean, because I have always been a fan of heats over time trials, any series. I mean, I think Cup should go to heat races, honestly. I don't really see much. I mean, I guess there's something to that, the craftsmanship of the car, but even I feel like that's sort of fading away gradually in all series at varying rates, but it is happening.
Yeah, I mean, I think for the fan, this is just my outlook.
Yeah, for a fan, it's a no-brainer.
You got to do.
But
heats.
if you watch, I mean, if you gave
I've never heard a fan say I like time trials.
right, and you paid, maybe you had a sponsor for heat race wins and some points, and these guys were forced to race hard for 8 laps.
right.
Right, it's like it's always a good race, whether it's heat races, the features, it just continues to roll on.
Yeah, but Steven, you made it sound like you like the variety of one of them in terms of these two tours. One's a heat race and one's time trial.
Yeah, and I wouldn't want it to change. I like the extra distance of the tour, but you start, time trial straight up. Like I think that's great the way they do it, but I also do think the way that Monaco Tri-Track Series does it is like that's good too, because there's a scuff session to set the heat lineup, so you don't end up with a slow car in the front row and.
Yeah, right. Right.
But I think the two of them are two separate things. Like if I want to,
Right.
I think the tour has to stay. It would. I don't think it would benefit them to go to heat races.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I mean, that is
and I
true.
also wouldn't want the Monaco series to change a thing.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah. No, they make a good point in the chat. I guess the owners are opposed to it, which makes sense. I mean, you don't want to be thinking like, all right, like it's 50-50, I'm going to a backup car, especially if, like Scott said, heat race will only be good if there's some kind of incentive.
Yeah, so that's what I was saying. If
Right.
there was
if there's an incentive, people are going to be going for it.
Yeah, it's hard not to, I just look at it from.
Well, you get money if you win the pole award, don't you? If you set fast time, you get money, right?
Oh yeah. Well, I don't even know. It used to be 1,000 for every pole. I don't know what it is now. I think it's like 500. Maybe it's 1,000. I don't know. But more importantly than that for these teams is probably the bonus point. I think you get a point to lead a lap, point to lead the most laps.
Yeah.
When it comes down to
Right,
the way
so the
that,
points mean more
yeah.
than the $500.
Yep.
Or the $1,000, so yeah.
Because it's hard to make up points in the tour series, in the Wheeling Tour.
Yeah.
100%. Well, that is the Hoosier Tyree Snapchat.
Great job, Rob.
Thank you.
Good job by you, Rob.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. I got a sorry. I got to stop getting my allergy shots the day before the podcast. They just tuned me right up. Anyways.
That's interesting.
Yeah. So I can do a little rant on the speaking of the tour. They've been celebrating the 40 years, 40 drivers.
Yeah.
So now there's a couple ways I can go with this. I'm just going to put this up right now. So this is what they've released. I guess they're doing it in 4 parts. They're doing 10 drivers each. Part 1 was the 10 they first released. Part 2 was ones that they just released, which is largely drivers based around a Long Island history, which is fitting since they just had the Long Island race. Now, I could go on a long rant about the 40 drivers format, and how they're selecting them. But I'm going to wait. I figure, why do all the content on this in one podcast? So we're going to wait until they release all 40 of them before I rant about or may on. But I was thinking, why don't we do a little SID prediction, shall we?
I like this.
So we're going to see if I can predict my own little kind of history nerd pick'ems, all right? So what I did is I went through the history, champions, wins. So here's my predictions for who the rest is going to be. We'll figure out if this is going to be right as they release them here in the next couple months. So I put these drivers in. These are all the drivers that have not been named already, that have won at least one championship in the series. And then I went to the wins list, and I gave you these. These are all the drivers that have 5 wins or more that have not been named. Goes all the way down to Craig Lutz. I figured Eric Goodale is on there. Rowan Pennick's on there with 3 wins. Woody's on there with 4.
Yeah, Lutz is he's in the conversation.
So then it gets tricky. After Lutz, you get into the Doug Heveron, and Ryan Newman has 4 wins. And I forget who I should have put the list up. But I went with a little recency bias, and I threw up our boy Austin Beers. I figure maybe he'll win again before they release the 4th one, and he can go on there. So that's going to be my prediction. So we'll revisit that later. We'll have a little fun with that. This is how bored I am. I figured, why not make up some more graphics?
Well, you got to do it. How about the weather?
Know what I'm saying? And I was like, what can I put that on? Whatever. Anyways, let's go back to the segments that help pay the bills, shall we? How about a little Did You Know segment from our friends over there at Broadbrook Heating and Cooling. Okay, so Diego.
Yeah.
Speedbowl ring out 4 weeks in a row.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that happened in 1984. Also happened in 1976. But did you know that the most rainouts in a row at the Speedbowl was in 1982? 7 weeks in a row.
Damn. Wow.
That was back when Dick Williams ran the track. And then in 2003, and I've mentioned this before because Terry brought it up when I interviewed him. Matter of fact, Dick Williams brought that up when I interviewed him for the Speedbowl doc as well. 2003 was the 5 weeks in a row that Terry said was, when he looks back at it, that was really kind of the downturn started there, and he could never really make it up. So I think we're probably thankful that the Speedbowl ownership, I don't think will be... I think he's stable enough where the financially won't hurt that it rained out 4 weeks in a row. But so I don't think the track is in jeopardy because of any weather issues. And I think we're all happy that looks like they're going to go racing on Saturday. So
beautiful.
4 weeks in a row, but not the record. So I guess that's a good thing. Diego, get yourself ready.
Oh boy,
we know you're excited. Now, Remy.
Yes.
I thought you were going to hook me up here with a button because I like to be fancy with this, right? Which one is it? No, wait, what
the hell was that? I've never heard of it.
Remy dialed in to the other podcast. Yeah. She went deep into the mix.
New segment reveal.
Yeah, that was crazy. All right, here we go. Come on, let's get to it.
What's your record for consecutive questions asked?
Oh boy,
that was amazing timing.
All right. Welcome to the Ed Marcel Firewood and Land Clearing Viewer Mail segment.
All right.
Ready? And are we ready?
Oh, we're ready.
Yep.
Okay, here we go. This is from our good friend Ron Evans.
What up, Ron?
What should Stafford do about the rental race cars always being in the way? It ruined side-by-side racing in the street stocks last week. They black flagged the 66 numerous times, and it would not leave the track. They are not in any way competitive cars, and I'm going to leave it at that. And that's not true. I don't think they are competitive cars with different drivers, but I can see his bitch.
Well, I did think I was definitely thinking about those cars during that race, and I was
Yeah.
like, what the hell? Now, one of them, and I am not mechanically inclined, so make fun of me if you must.
Yeah.
But one of them kept driving down the front stretch and had this loud knocking noise going on.
Really?
Something was wrong with that car.
Yeah.
And I did, I don't know how the rent a race car works, but I did think, like, you have to pay to drive those cars, right?
Yes.
It's a rent.
So I was thinking, like, this guy kept getting the black flag, but he was probably like, I'm getting my
Right.
money's worth. I'm staying
Right.
out here. I don't care if this thing's knocking or what.
Right,
I'm-
what are they gonna do,
Kept
park it
driving
for the year?
around. So
Yeah.
there is that element. Like, if you're renting these cars out, the cars are not. I mean, that car was clearly had issues.
You know, there's got to be something the track has to do.
It was bad though.
Yeah, they have to have a clear understanding, the drivers, you know, if they're going to take part in this, because these teams.
Were
I
they
mean-
really in the way? I mean, it was
Well, I don't-
noticeable, but I
Yeah,
don't.
I feel like they've impacted almost every
They
race.
may
Really?
have.
Yeah, especially the season opener was insane.
Yeah, I mean, and if they are, they have to listen to their headset. And if you don't abide by the rules, then, I don't know what the consequences would be.
Yeah.
You know, but
I just kept that one car. I just kept thinking that guy's getting his money's worth. He's not pulling off.
Right. Well, I mean, I remember earlier, like way earlier in the year, we talked about like should these tracks have minimum speed, and it was for this reason. And I forget who it was, but somebody said they have minimum speed. And every race since then, I've questioned: did they
Yeah.
really have minimum speed?
I mean, I think-
because there's no way these cars are making.
there was a race earlier in the year, one or two had gotten in the way of like a four-way battle for the lead, and they were just splitting the car.
If I was a sizzler,
Yeah, the guy's in the middle of the track, and you know what it sucks for? It sucks for the guys that are in the shop working on their stuff 4 nights a week so they could be great, and they're racing for the lead, and one of those cars is dead ass in the middle of the track,
right?
And you're like, all right, which way do I go? Because you don't know what they're going to do.
Right. Well, that's not to say the rent a race car
Right.
guys are like not putting in effort. Like they
Yeah.
obviously have to put in a lot of effort to run that program. I just think if the gimmick is going to be like you get to rent the car, they really need to crack down on like how that's going to be policed.
And-
Driver to official communication. Like they have to do something.
You know
right?
what this goes back to? Your question about the press.
Is
I mean,
it good press?
The Redder race cars.
I don't
are
know
getting
if this
so
is good
bad.
press. I don't know
Right?
if this is good press.
Right? I mean,
don't
is
know.
any press good press? But I think there's something has to be done by race officials. If somebody that's going to be super novice is going to get in a car
Right.
and go out and dice, these guys are serious with their street stocks now. They're not just these little throw together cars. They're really good cars. They take a lot of time with them. And I mean, listen, the Speedbowl, they had this going on with the modifieds last year, right? Ask Timmy Jordan what happened.
I was just going to say that.
You know what I mean? So
Timmy
it's
Jordan's down on the hotline.
Yeah, it happened in that division almost twice last year, right? How do you?
What was the Tapley rule that we found out at Thunder Road? Like, you go a lap down, get off the track, or something like that.
Oh, if you start before 25th and then you cause a wreck.
Well, that's because they put him in the
because
field.
that was a provisional, right?
Yeah, they put him in the field.
Yeah.
If you go a lap down, get off the track or something like that. I don't
Maybe
know.
that should be the rule with the rental race cars.
Yeah.
Go a lap down, then you pull it onto pit road.
Yeah, so they'll be driving their asses off.
Well,
they got to get their money.
Suddenly they'll be going a lot faster.
Right.
They are race cars.
Yep.
All right. You guys ready for the next one?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. With all the rain happening, this is from Tyler Owen, by the way. So
Okay.
I wanted to give him some love. Thanks for sending the email. With all the rain happening, paired with most local short tracks having very old ways of track drying, like tire racks being dragged around, should each state with more than one track like Connecticut come together and invest in one Air Titan or something like that, so that Connecticut rival tracks have an Air Titan to share for each weekend? Each track has different race days, or the Air Titan's way too expensive to do this.
Yeah, I mean, there's just no chance that the state's going to do that.
Well, I think what he meant is the owners get together. Hey, let's split an Air Titan. But what happens when Waterford breaks it? Who pays for it?
There's even less chance the owners are going to get together and pitch in to have one of those.
Yeah.
I mean, just the logistics of bringing it back and forth to each track.
Could you imagine?
Yeah, it's just not going to happen.
Yeah, but I thought Stafford had something like that. You know, that week, 2 weeks ago when we were there when it rained, I was like, I think they got some sort of air tight in here. I just thought
they have something to blow the track off. I don't know if it's like an Air Titan. I
Right.
feel like that's like an actual specification.
Did they have
of
one for like the
track gyro.
SRX show or something? Where are you getting that from?
I don't know. I just thought because Stafford's so with it, I just figured they had some stuff like that,
I remember one time back in the early 2000s, the Speedbowl had like the Joey Chitwood. Remember, used to have like the big jet-powered truck,
Oh, yeah.
and they had a rain delay, and so they ran the Chitwood thing first so that they could run that thing on the track and drive the track.
That thing put out some heat.
It's actually well thought out.
Yeah, David was he was always tossing around the idea of building one. He was going to call it the Air Route.
The Air Route?
That's not
I thought
bad.
he should do it just for the name. I don't know. We'll see what happens with that.
I mean, that's a pretty good idea, David.
Check out the big brain on Brad.
Damn right.
This guy and his buttons.
Go ahead.
All right. This was from our buddy Jeremy Martin.
Okay. I've heard of him.
And he is very.
Oh, Diego.
dude, he's doing a lot of stuff now, passing out flags and hats and
Diego,
stuff.
he wants you to sing him happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
No,
When
there's
is his birthday?
there's no singing on the
Diego,
podcast.
don't you want to sing?
I've got a great voice.
Let's
stay
No,
on
no,
task,
come on.
please. Let's stay on task.
Jeremy, you're not getting that.
Diego, do you want to tell the people before you read Jeremy's email what they need to do?
Yes.
They want to be a part of this segment.
If you want to be part of this segment, please log on, send your emails to sidsviewpodcast@gmail.com. I want some juicy stuff. And I got some juicy stuff coming for you. So please, at sidsviewpodcast@gmail.com. And don't send them the day of. Send them a day or two before because we all look at them as a group. All right, you ready, Jeremy? With Stafford having monster trucks and destroying the infield again, what would be the best solution, you think? Spray paint it green, pave it all, or just some turf?
Anything but pave it all.
Anything but pave it all, huh?
Yeah, I think having it all pavement, like it just looks so bad.
Yeah, it
I don't
does.
like
looks
that.
so bad.
And Wall Stadium's like that.
Right.
Yeah, all
you got to have
paved.
some grass.
Yeah, grass
Yeah.
does look good.
It does.
Right. Throw some lines out
Right,
there.
yeah.
Of
Yeah,
course.
but they just got destroyed.
Yeah.
Okay, this is Jeremy's getting down and juicy here.
Paint it green.
Paint it green.
That's the best.
They
step,
do.
right? Yeah.
They do that though. There's
They do.
down south. People paint their grass green.
I believe the Speedbowl did that for the Funkmaster Flex show.
It looked great.
Really?
Yeah.
Did it look good?
I don't remember.
Yeah, me
I
either.
don't know if I was even alive.
Yeah, you weren't alive.
Yeah,
Is it
so I
that
figured.
long ago?
No, you were alive.
What year was that?
2004.
Oh, I was there.
Oh,
I
you
mean, I
were.
wasn't there.
Jack, were you alive?
What month?
Oh, geez. It was like in August.
Wow.
Then no, I was a month away from being born.
Damn.
Damn.
Oh,
you missed
you-
Funkmaster Flex.
He was still swimming around.
No, I was in the
old.
womb.
We are old. I got a provisional for that race. Pretty bad.
Yeah. No. Actually,
Damn,
nobody
you didn't
cares.
qualify?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't even qualify.
What a shame.
Yeah, I got to the lead though, so suck it. All right, you ready? All right, provisional to the lead. Okay, are you ready for this one, Jeremy's getting juicy with this one.
Okay.
What do you think about the Sammy Anderson and Amanda West feud? I didn't even know there was one. They always seem to get into each other and make comments on the air when asked by the announcers. I did hear Sammy. She was pissed.
Gonna
Yeah,
get
she
some
was
cat
unhappy.
calls on this.
Oh
soundboard.
yeah. Yep. I did hear. I didn't know there was a feud there.
Just thinking of a Seinfeld episode when they're like, yeah, the cat fight. Yeah.
Did you guys know there was a feud?
I mean, I didn't
didn't.
know it was an ongoing feud. I knew they had a run in last Friday where Sammy called her an idiot, but I didn't know
Yeah.
that it was a, known feud. I kind of just thought, they're mad.
A lot of people say a lot of bad things interviewed. I hate that when that happens. People just go off.
Right.
They're super emotional. They stick the mic in their face, and it's pretty bad.
Yeah, I don't know. What do you do? I mean, let it keep going.
Let it keep going. It's good for the sport.
I agree. I mean, if it gets blatant, hand
They
out
both
penalties,
run good,
I don't know.
too,
You
so
don't gotta
it's-
police it any differently.
Real quick, Tapley wants to know where you finished in the Funkmaster
I had
Flex.
listen. Listen. Doesn't matter. I got a flat leading. That's the truth.
Okay.
All right. Whatever. I'm just happy to make the race. You guys ready for this one?
You got a professional.
I did.
Well, that's not really making the
Yeah, I
race.
made
They
the
let
race.
you in.
Yeah, I had a little Filipino in me. They needed the
Yeah,
diversity
Rob,
thing.
it was a TV show. He got in on personality.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And personality.
Yeah.
All right.
No, just personality, not and personality.
No, good looks and personality. Thank you. All right.
Wow. That can't be true. But Funkmaster Flex is on the line. We have a question?
It's my segment?
Go ahead.
Or we're going to continue on?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, Steven, you ready for this one?
Yeah.
This is the question. This is from Jeff. And he has multiple questions. Between the 3 SK divisions in Connecticut, who is the biggest threat weekly? And if you want to take it down to 2 because Thompson doesn't run regularly, I'm sure you still watch the SKs a lot, right?
Yeah.
I guess you have to run at least both tracks. Who's the biggest threat weekly?
See, that's the tough thing. There's really no. I mean, I know Keith and Todd are running both tracks.
Last year you could have said Moeller.
Yep.
Right, because he was a threat to win every week.
He was.
You can also say, listen, if I'm a big fan of Flannery. If he starts turning it up a little more at Stafford,
right?
He could be one because he's good
Could.
for.
I think he's a notch below right now, but
He's good for 4 wins at 3 or 4 wins at Waterford.
Right.
I mean, you got to put Pulio in there. I know he doesn't race Waterford weekly now, but he can win down there.
Right.
Yeah,
I mean, if the question was SK Lights, the answer would be easy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
But obviously it's not. So
I would say Pulio obviously doesn't race at the bowl, but he can go anywhere and win right now, and he's
I
strong,
think so,
and they're
too.
working hard.
Yeah.
You can't say. I mean, Todd's not running good. Flannery's not running good at Stafford. Keith is good at Stafford.
He's in different cars.
He's
Keith's
not.
in
Yeah,
different
he's
cars.
not.
Yeah.
He's. I mean, they'll get there, but not yet at the bowl. Obviously, Eric only runs the bowl. I would say Pulio would be like the guy that could go anywhere and win.
Yeah.
Right now. Yeah, I agree too.
that's good.
I mean, Mikey, but you'll never see him at the bowl, and you won't see him at Thompson.
Right.
But, you know what I mean?
Yeah, he would if Mikey showed up at the bowl, and the same could be said too. I know DiMatteo's having an off year, but whenever he showed up at the bowl, they were damn good.
Yeah, that is true.
And he's been off this year. I picked him to win the championship. But
that's why he's
I don't know about that, but it's I feel like at Stafford though anybody could turn it around at any time.
Yeah. It's funny. You brought up Eric, like he only runs the bowl, but it would be kind of neat to see Eric show up at Thompson or Stafford in that Ferguson car. Right. I mean, yeah, he's
I
right.
think he could show up at Stafford and run.
100%. Yeah.
Yep.
And that's a great team there with too.
100%.
Yeah, that would be fun. I'm a big fan of Eric too.
Yeah,
Man.
yeah.
He's a great guy. All right, Jeff had another question. So I guess he's a chassis builder. So coming from a person who builds, sets up, and drives modifieds, who has the nicest equipment that you have worked on?
In SKs?
Modifieds. Let's just say modifieds. I mean,
So I grew up in Newtown, and that's where Mike Schmeriglio's 2 cars were housed. Phil Moran worked on them, and I knew Phil from the time I was probably 12 or 13 years old, and his stuff was always perfect.
Right.
I got to say, probably anything that Phil works on. He worked on those cars till 21, I think.
And they were fast.
And they were always perfect. Everything was always clean, and I would say them.
Perfect. Yeah, there's nothing better. We've talked about this pre-show.
Yeah.
Man, there's I really love somebody that takes care of their stuff. And I really believe that when you're ready to move on to something different, it's really easy to sell one of your pieces because everybody knows that you take.
That's how your stuff was always nice.
Always nice. Yeah. Always take care of it, and it just sells.
You guys, not picking on you, but you wrecked a lot of shit too.
Oh yeah.
And it would always come back the next week perfect.
Yeah, we did wreck a lot of stuff.
But like fresh panels, painted, like whatever it took, that car looked like it never happened.
I remember we couldn't even when we ran from Mahoney back then. That was when were you born?
98.
Yeah, so this was like we started doing that back in the early 2000s. When we first bought James Savali's car,
yeah,
we couldn't even practice unless they were all chrome rims. There was no discolored rims on the car. There was times where we didn't have enough rims, and we were breaking down in between practices because you couldn't run the car. Our car owner wouldn't allow anything but chrome rims on the car.
Wow.
That's serious.
Yep.
But, yeah, anyways. You ready for the last one?
Ready.
This one here. This one here. I got to find it. This is juicy. Well, slightly juicy.
The devious smile on Diego's face. Look at that.
Sean's going to love this.
Oh, God. Oh, boy.
Okay. I don't know how much of a question this is, but this seems to be a hot ticket item. What's your thoughts? And this is from Phil.
All right.
Right?
What's up, Phil?
What's your thoughts on race day CT?
Ooh.
I will tell you this. I am not paying to subscribe because we all have our favorites, but you can't arrogantly show it. But this guy has plenty of hates and more than a few loves. I am actually surprised Rocco went at him to defend Kopcik because the guy has always been pretty good to Rocco. Now, this goes back to the press thing.
Yeah.
Right? People are talking about race day CT. And what better guest to have in the house than Stephen Kopcik for this? Because, you know, it was a big deal. And I'm not sure what kind of...
Did you feel like it was good press?
When he was launching 10 articles a day about me? Or when Rocco said something?
Either one.
I mean, Rocco, yeah, he's always been good to Rocco, but that's just the weight of... That's just what that guy's... The weight he holds now, you know. He was good to Rocco. I'm sure he was good to other people, but the truth is, at the end of the day, he's not credible. Like, not that he's not credible, but everyone knows he's just opinionated, pain in the ass. He's not credible. He's a dope.
Yeah.
So, like, even the people that were good to him, like, it doesn't really matter. Like, the guy just kind of, you know, dug his own hole a little bit.
It didn't surprise me that Rocco said that.
No.
Despite that they had a relatively good relationship.
Yeah.
Because just knowing Keith,
yeah,
that didn't surprise me at all.
Yeah, I mean, you know, listen, I thought it was kind of good because, you know, he was Kopcik's his boy right now. You know, they're working together. It's his, you know, he's got his back.
Yeah.
I pay him to promote me.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think what he writes could mean any less at this point, to be honest with you. Like, I don't know. It doesn't really bother me at all. I mean, I get a kick out of it at this point. Maybe the first few bothered me, but...
Yeah. I remember, so it was getting into clip art and stuff, and I'm like, ooh, this guy's getting good.
It was getting intense there for a while. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if there was a question there, but, you know, it was a comment. It's relevant. It's happening. You know, I tell you, I want to say some juicy stuff. I'm not sure if Sean loves that, you know, but... you know, it's something that's relevant on social media. It was happening after the tour race. I mean, Kopcik was the talk on social media for all modified people for a minute there.
Yeah.
And Sean was launching at him.
Yeah, I mean, listen, Sean's going to have, we all have our opinions. I mean, we sit here every Tuesday night and talk about our opinions. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and Sean gets into it with social media, and I think he likes sparking that up. He gets into the comments, like, you know, that's not really my thing. Every once in a while, I'll dive into a comment, and every time
you have done that.
Every time I do, then I'm like, damn, why'd I do that?
Right.
You know, and I'm like, and I kind of, so I like to have a little bit more self-discipline than maybe I did at times. Definitely more than when I was younger.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like I feel like anything I've seen you comment on is in like a positive manner. Like that guy's always fighting with someone.
Well, like we were saying before we went live, and we were talking about how I like the races are fun for me, and I like to go and have a good time. That's part of my nature. I like to go and just talk with everybody.
Right.
It's a people thing for me. And so I think, you know, my approach to what I do in the sport is different than what Sean does. And I think people, I don't fault them if they think we are similar in that manner. We're obviously both part of the media, but I have always considered myself kind of on a different, I approach things differently than Sean does. And he you know, he used to work for a newspaper. Like I didn't do any of that. And
right.
I used to go to school to do print journalism. And, I think everyone here, especially the gentleman to my right, I think understands that if you're going to call yourself a journalist, I feel like you kind of have to keep your personal egos and personal situations out of it to put out a good product. And,
I think the world's changed, though, Jack.
That's my take.
I
know media is screwed and all, but I just think I don't know. Whatever.
Got to raise his voice at me. That's what the hell.
Jackson tense.
Yeah, Jackson tense.
Jackson tense.
I think that in today's world, I think those lines are blurred a little bit, and so I don't think that. I think that you can be a journalist and have an opinion, but it is tricky.
Yeah.
And so I just think today's world, the journalism is different because of social media, and I almost think it's impossible to not have an opinion. But
I got a question for you, Steve. When stuff like that is happening, like when that whole stuff was transpiring after the tour race there, how did you pay attention to a lot of that stuff, or did you just try to turn a blind eye and keep going about your business?
I just turn not even a blind eye. I'm too busy to really worry about the nonsense that's
right
going around. I don't go looking for it. Occasionally people send it to me, but anyone that's even associated with me doesn't even have to say anything. They get blocked from whatever the guy posts anyway. So it's like it's not easily accessible, nor would I want to look at it.
Right.
But no, it didn't really bother me at all.
That gets back to that press thing again. What a great deal you had.
I told you it was relevant. I told you.
Everyone's talking about what we're talking about now.
Yeah.
Because the guy wanted to write about me. I don't know. That goes right back to good press, bad press. I don't know. It's really not bad and doesn't really mean much anyway. So
yeah, right.
So I'm just gonna talk to our good friend Northeast Racer, who says in the chat, "You bitches be dancing."
What?
So I don't know if he's been
even
watching
see
the
that
whole
one.
show, or he didn't hear what Steven said, because Steven wasn't dancing over everything. Okay, but we all have different opinions here, and
I don't even see that one, but that's funny.
He's on here chirping. I mean, I think we all know Sean's opinion about Sean Corshane.
Yep.
And he has probably been in Steven's position that Stephen Kopcik was in.
Yes.
So I can see why your brother is going to be, somewhat triggered. But don't say we're dancing, okay?
Yeah.
I have a relationship with Sean. I don't agree with everything he says. But like I said, we approach the sport in a different manner.
Right.
And everybody here has been able to speak freely about their thoughts on it. So don't say we're dancing. Maybe you're dancing. What do you got to say? Say it in the chat, Chirpy.
Oh, here we go.
Oh my God.
It's getting personal.
Everybody is chirping tonight.
This is great. It was a
Even
great
me.
one. Oh, I appreciate it, man. That's another segment.
Always a
done by
tremendous viewer mail segment. Well done, Diego. Let's get fiery with another segment where we like to chirp a lot.
Oh God, we got to go right into this now.
You know how we do it.
Jesus.
It's time for the Northeast Truck and Off-Road Weekly Pick'ems. Giddy up.
Oh my God.
Look at Jack.
Yep.
He just says, "Yep."
I'm just losing.
I mean, he's just keeping his head down and he keeps winning. I don't know how this is happening.
Yeah.
Diego, what's going on, guy?
Oh, dude, I'm just losing so
And don't
bad.
look at mine for too long.
I think it wasn't even there.
He just called you out on that. Yep.
Dude.
Yeah, we had a couple of those. Ryan Lynham was not in the R&R Street Stock race for our man Fro.
Man.
Yeah, it was tough. So,
Paul Verrecchio didn't even start for me.
but yeah, Paul Verrecchio had a bad
That's true.
day.
He
But
technically
Remy,
wasn't in the race.
but you did get a win, though.
Yeah, thank God.
Yeah, Remy had a nice week there. She got second with Verrecchio and Pulio, and a win with Justin.
Now, where's my second with Pulio? Shout out said, huh?
Well, you're terrible. You got 2 points. All right, so how are we doing this now? Who goes first? The winners?
It would be Jack.
Jack, you go first.
All right. So for Thompson, I'm going to do John Pulio in the 604s.
All righty, let's get you on screen there. There you go, buddy.
Hi, Jack.
What up? How we doing?
Hi.
Hi. For Stafford in the late models, Andrew Duran. For the Speedbowl, Jason Palmer in the late models again. Seaconk, Pro Stocks, Mark Jennison. And then touring, the ACT Tour, Caden Fisher.
It's interesting.
Very.
Jason Palmer going to be at the Speedbowl?
I don't know.
Maybe. Hopefully. I don't know. Whatever.
Good. You need a couple losses. So I hope
Yeah,
he
you
doesn't
really
show up.
do,
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Dude, you're so
You can
freaking
afford
lucky.
it if he doesn't show up.
Seriously.
it's just lucky.
You're like a giant bowl of Lucky Charms over there.
Oh yeah.
A lot of people eat Lucky Charms. So.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Whoa, that was good right there.
Popular.
All right. Go ahead,
Nice.
Rems.
Give him a little.
Mamma mia. Okay.
I tried.
So, Thompson, I'm going with the open mods, Ron Silk. Stafford, I'm going limited late models, Jason Lafayette. Waterford, I'm going with the mini stock still, Ray Christian. Seaconk, I'm going late models, Luke LeBrun. And then touring series, I'm going with Evolved Trucks and Burt Olet.
Not a bad round of pick'ems right there.
Thank you.
Rainbows Keeter, by the way. Rainbows. Sorry.
All right. I believe it's over to me. I'm going to hit you up at Thompson. We're going to go Dave Trudeau in the mini stocks. Then we're going to do Julio coming back with a vengeance. The SKs at Stafford. Jordan Hadley, Streeters at the Bowl. Going Rowdy Burns, Pro Stocks. Seaconk. And I got my fingers crossed that Tyler Chapman's going to be in the Evolved truck race at Thompson. That's how I'm rolling, Diego. You know Rob's not next, so it must be over to you.
All right. I'm going. Thompson, 604, Todd Owen. Stafford, late model, Chris Meyer.
I was thinking about going there.
Yeah, he's going to start up front.
By the way, I don't know if we've discussed this on the podcast, but apparently Chris Meyer's new nickname is Chrissy Two Scoops.
Chrissy Two Scoops.
Yes.
They've all got
That
great
comes from
names.
him, by the way.
Oh, yeah, Chrissy Two Scoops.
Yeah.
Chrissy Two Scoops.
Now,
Who calls him that?
If he said, I mean, I don't know if he gave it to himself, but he told me that was the nickname.
Dude,
now, what happens if him and Daryl Keene are side by side?
Oh,
That's
delicious Two Scoops.
delicious Chrissy Two Scoops.
Dude, my dog's name is King.
Yeah.
I've been calling him King Alicious.
God.
Yeah, no, all right.
You get Kingalicious, Delicious, and Frolicious all in one.
Oh,
Frolicious.
okay.
Okay.
It's getting bad. Go ahead.
Waterford, I'm going SK, Timmy Jordan.
All right.
Seaconk, Sportsman, is that what they're called?
Yeah.
Adam Petty.
Chalk.
Is it?
Yeah.
This one here is not a chalk, but my fingers are crossed.
Okay.
Evolved Truck, Sean.
Your brother?
Yes.
Wow. Chirpmouth? Good pick.
Chirpmouth. I'm going Chirpy.
Chirpy Trucks. Okay. Cosmo Kramer, over to you.
Alrighty. Thompson, SK late. I'm going Nicholas Hovey.
Chalk.
Stafford, late model. Diego, I swear I did not copy you. I also went with Chrissy Two Scoops.
There you go. That's how you do it.
Yeah. Waterford, Crown Vic, Scott Sestodio hopefully shows up. I saw pictures of the new Crown Vic, so Scott, please win. Please.
How about please show up?
That's a good start. I'm thinking big here, you know. Seaconk, Truck, Mike Cavallaro, Chalky Chalk. And touring, Scott will tell me right away if this driver is running. I went act. Raphael Lassard.
The point leader? I'm pretty sure he would be there.
He wasn't the point leader last week.
Now, can we just go back to Rob's camera? My apologies to our man Danny Cates over there with the DRC Electric chalkboard chatter. Let's just read that. How about SK finish?
SK finish? I didn't write it.
I forgot the.
That was
I forgot the
that was all you guys.
That's very good.
How about SK finish? Huh?
Bad job by me.
about
That's
that?
a bad job by
Sid
me.
needs some Grammarly, huh?
Bad
Home
job by
track definitely running. Oh, that's
Yeah.
good news for me.
Sorry, Danny Cates. We'll do better for the chalkboard chatter next time around. Okay, listen. Check out the follow us on Facebook. We'll have the picks. We'll throw them down. Oh, I got to get those out by tomorrow because the Thompson picks. Huh?
Oh, yeah.
Damn you, Thompson.
Whoop,
All right.
whoop.
I'm hyped.
Well, I am going to do the pop culture.
What happened?
If you
Remy's
don't
not
mind.
I
doing
was so
it?
tired of my crap.
I mean, after last week, I think it was time for the red checker.
Riley Generator's pop culture minute. Here we go. All right, Diego. Now, as you know, I'm a speedbowl historian, now a racing historian. Back in the day, I read a lot about music, popular music. Matter of fact, when I was in college, they had a book. It was about this big. It was called The Illustrated History of Rock and Roll. It was a paperback. And I'm old, so this is pre-cell phone days. You know, I don't know about you guys, but I kind of fall asleep scrolling on my phone. Well, I used to fall asleep reading this book. And learned a lot about popular music, the history of rock and roll. And we lost two icons this past week. Brian Wilson, who was a founding member of the Beach Boys, died at age 82 on June 11th. And Sylvester Stewart, stage name Sly Stone, and the great band Sly and the Family Stone died 2 days earlier on June 9th, also age 82. Now, some of their music is kind of dated now, but if you are I know you are a big Elvis guy, and so the oldies have a special place, and some of the music still holds up. The Beach Boys had a lot of surfer music, which really was not my style, but Brian Wilson decided to stop touring for a variety of reasons, and kind of immersed himself in the studio and came up with some really cool songs like Good Vibrations and God Only Knows. Their album Pet Sounds is largely revered as one of the greatest albums in rock and roll history. Got a couple pictures for you. This is the Beach Boys. That's Brian Center at the mic. His brothers and cousins. That was basically a family band. And here is another picture. This is later on in his career. When he's in the studio, you got to love the late 60s. A pack of Marlboro Reds right there indoors, firing those puppies down, making some great music. And then Sly Stone, whoops, sorry about that. Sly Stone, they performed at Woodstock, one of the legendary events in rock and roll history. And they were known for having not only different races, but different genders in their band. And they have a lot of great songs. Everyday People was a classic anthem in the late 60s for the equality of people during the civil rights movement. If you like yourself a little heavy metal, you go on Spotify and look up I Want to Take You Higher. Or if you want to hear one of the funkiest riffs ever, cue up a song called Stand and listen to the last 40 minutes. Got one of the best slap bass grooves you could ever listen to. So anyways, that is two rock legends that we lost this past week. Pay tribute to them. I know Rob has heard a couple because he's crafty like that. Jack and Remy,
my
no
wife,
chance.
My wife loves
The Beach Boys?
the Beach Boys.
Yeah.
And so I think that we're going to see a tribute band up at Mohegan.
Yeah.
Beach Boys tribute band. She's just totally into it.
So then Rachel probably knows that the song God Only Knows is one of a lot of people consider that a perfect pop song.
Yeah. I don't know it, but I know she does.
Cue it up. All right. You throw down Suspicious Minds like Elvis
I
that you
love
do.
that.
All right. And then you go to God Only Knows. The
That's
harmonies
right.
at the end, tremendous. Rachel will tell you about it when you get home tonight. All right. It's time for Diego's favorite graphic of the night.
Oh, here it is. I love
Let's
this.
check out what is on tap.
Oh, there goes his head.
That is pretty good,
I
huh?
love that. Who did that graphic?
Come
What
on.
do you think,
You know
Dave?
who
Come
does
on,
that.
guys.
Oh, that's awesome.
Listen, we have one hell of a busy week coming up. Obviously, Thompson tomorrow. And I only got, wow, there goes my
Wow.
voice. I'm telling you, the
Wow.
allergy shots, they kill
Instant.
me. We got open mods. We got the Evolve trucks there. Stafford SK50. So the SKs are back at it. And then you got 2 nights of racing at Seekonk and the Speedbowl. MRS is at Monadnock, Granite State, Speedway 95. No, I think that's, we've learned that that's incorrect. I didn't update that graphic. Yeah, I screwed that up. Act like you did not see that.
Yeah, right.
And then Act is over at the Tapley's going to make fun of me. I can't remember the name. I got the logo up there, though. Don't call it Autodrome. They're all Autodromes up there.
Is that race in above the border?
Chardier?
Yeah.
I think it's
That's
called.
close.
Yeah. Was I close with that?
Yeah, back to back with Kanka Mangus.
Yeah.
I love it. I really do. The names.
All
good
right.
stuff.
Listen, it's time to figure out who in the world won the week. Rob, you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Who are you?
Brought to you by Skake It. We say it right. And I'm back on it, baby, like I never left. Back on it. Sorry.
Remy, you read the list, man.
Why
I
me?
All right, let's
Sid's
go.
crashing.
Yeah, I'm crashing.
So,
I'm burning.
Chris Buffoni, Brent Gleason, Justin Bonsignor, Mike Christopher Jr., Rowdy Burns. I'm going to screw up Arthur's last name, Miak.
Yeah.
Ooh, I got it. Look at me.
I'm going with Mikey Jr.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm going with Karen Reed. Did she get exonerated? Tapley would know. Did she?
I thought I saw
wanna
something
know.
about that.
Did her second trial? Did she win her second trial? If so, she really won. Man, I'm gonna say Buffoni. That's a first win at Stafford. That's a big win.
Wow.
So Gleason's there too. Can I pick them both?
Nope.
No.
Damn.
I don't know how you do better than Mikey Jr.'s win. That's one of the best finishes I've seen in a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Kopcik, you get a vote in this.
I would say Mikey, hands
Yeah.
down. Yeah, he did a good job.
He did do a great job.
Because JP was the car to beat.
Yeah.
Mikey made it happen.
Yeah.
He took advantage of
He willed his way to a
Yeah.
win.
Took the advantage of the opportunity for sure.
Man, he did great. He did great.
Jack, what do you got?
I was thinking Bonsignor, but I think I'm going to go Mikey Jr.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bonsignor Riverhead. Pff, been there, done that.
Yeah, but I mean, he's
Come on,
broke a
Jack. Jack,
record.
really? That's what
Relax,
you were going to
will ya?
say, Jack?
Have
Come
a
on.
chuckle or two, Jack.
Come on, Jack.
Lord.
I love this guy. He's a personality.
Rob, what do you got?
I was thinking Brent Gleason, to be honest.
That's a
with you.
good pick,
I feel
dude.
like
Yeah.
that was a very triumphant win for him.
Remy?
Brent Gleason's father would have loved it.
Yeah.
That would have been great.
I think I'll go with Justin Bonsignor.
Okay.
Are you serious?
Really, Remy?
Because
After we just
I'm
made
a
fun of how
little,
lame that
I'm
pick
a
was gonna
little
be.
But you still
salty
did it anyway.
because I picked John Pulio, so I'm a little salty.
Brent's never won at Waterford, just for the people in the chat.
Yeah.
They're asking if he'd be the 3 tracks. He hasn't done that.
I think it's I mean, Christopher ran great, but he wins a lot of those big races. Buffoni, I like him, and Gleason, I like them. Both of them.
You can't have 2. You
I know. I told you I picked.
All right, you got a tally here. What do you got?
I do. I will read them as always in order of votes. We have 4 with 1. They are the SK Modified Field, Karen Reed, Brad Marchand,
Karen Reed.
Justin Bonsignor. With 3, we have Chris Buffoni. With 5, we have Brent Gleason. And the winner of the week, as Ben Dodge would say, there's no doubt about it, it's Mikey Jr.
Oh.
Very good.
All right, that's a wrap, everybody. Follow us on social. My voice is absolutely shot.
Gone.
But listen, go follow us on social. Remy's going to do something, and I'll make a reel out of it, and you'll be entertained. I guarantee it. Diego, over to you.
Hell yeah, man. Couldn't do it without Fowler's Auto Wrecking for the weekly update. Of course, Waddell Communications for the Nostalgia Nugget. Hoosier Tyrese for the Popcorn Stat Chat. Broadbrook Heating and Cooling for Did You Know? Ed Marcel Firewood and Land Clearing for Viewer Mail. Of course, Myers Creamery for What's on Tap. Riley's Generators for the Pop Culture Minute. Skake It LLC for Who Won the Week. DRC Electric, thanks for the chalkboard chatter. Of course, Monaco Ford for the results ticker. Northeast Truck and Off-Road, Midstate Site Development, Surf Pro, and JDL Motorsports for all the point standings. Thanks, guys. Seacont Grand Prix for firing up the hot seat. I'd like to thank one of the best modified drivers and crew chiefs for joining us tonight, Mr. Stephen Kopcik. Thanks, buddy.
Thanks for having me on.
Hell yeah, man. It was a pleasure. Of course, don't forget about the Races Reunion July 6th at the Barnyard Speedway. Special thanks to Vault Productions, man, for this kick-ass studio. Last but not least, it was a great show tonight. All you podcast members, thanks for the live chat. And look forward to seeing you next week. Thanks.
I want to say a big thank you to Stafford Speedway, Seekonk Speedway, and Racing America for the videos tonight.
All right, everybody. Always a thrill to have you here on Tuesday nights. We'll see you next week. Do it all over again. See you then.